Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. Today on Letters to Thailand, we've got a different kind of a letter. This one comes from Matt in New Jersey, and he writes in that his father is from Chiang Rai, and he grew up in New Jersey, and he moved back to Thailand 5 years ago. He visited Thailand throughout his life and is now living here in Thailand. He has a girlfriend, and he is contacting me with some current concerns he might have. So he writes in, I come from a middle upper class family in New Jersey. I came to Thailand with lots of work experience in the United States, but I do not have credentials to find work in Bangkok. My family has traditional beliefs, and I now study at Assumption University, and I haven't graduated yet. So I knew a Thai student that had already graduated, and somehow we connected, and we are now in the beginning of a relationship. She's from Bangkok, and she is still a young girl in my eyes compared to how fast Americans mature. She is a good person, but her naive and spoiled behavior gets me discouraged to advance our relationship. I speak quite a bit of Thai, and she speaks fairly good English, so communication is not a problem. My question to you is, how do I get her to live a more down-to-earth lifestyle? Every time we meet, we eat meals that cost me 800 baht on average, aside from transportation and other things. I worked in America for almost 10 years, and now that I'm in Thailand, I get an allowance from my father until I graduate. With my allowance, I cannot afford to live the way that she wants to live. Five out of 6 or 7 times that we meet, I would like to live a simple and humble life with her. Keep in mind, we live an hour and a half apart. I have a condo, but it's basically just a shell. She is a manager in her family's company. I cannot go to her house for cultural reasons, nor is my condo fit for us to hang out in. Basically, after 18 or 19 years that you've been living in Thailand, how have you managed to keep partners, well, my wife, from trying to live the high society lifestyle while maintaining a healthy relationship? This is a great question, and something that it applies to everybody pretty much. But here's what I wrote back. I think your problem is one that men in general fight with all the time, whether it's Thai women or any other woman. From what I've seen, and this is my wife's opinion as well, if your girl wants to live a down-to-earth lifestyle, she's going to live one. If she doesn't want to, it's going to be very hard to sway her into living that kind of a lifestyle. It's hard to undo that mentality. I'm from an upper-middle-class family, and I wanted for very little, to be honest. But he used to make me earn my own money. I remember I wanted a ping pong table. He said, well, you're mowing lawns, you're earning money, save the money and buy one. And he did the same thing when I wanted a TV. So, I think it's good to do that. Now, as far as my wife's from Surat, and while she wasn't poor, her family owns rubber trees, and by Thai standards, she'd probably be considered lower middle class. They're definitely not poor, but they're definitely not rich. She is, though, and has always been very down to earth. I've never had to change her to be down to earth. She's been frugal with money. She's been careful, and she doesn't just go out and say, I want this, I want that, I want this, and then just go out and just get it, or even try to do that. She's very careful about what she does. And if the rare occasion comes up when she does get like that, I either tell her to be quiet, or I say, well, you got a job, go out and get it. There's nothing stopping Thai women from going out and getting something that they want. They earn a good living nowadays. They have the ability to, unlike, say, 30 or 40 years ago where it was very rare. And my own wife, you know, she has a good job, she has freedom, she makes good money, and like I said, I don't have to force her to be down to earth. It's tough to change a woman who's used to having everything that, or at least much of what she wants. So I don't think you're going to be able to change her. But the logistical problems with your condo and where she is, that'll all work itself out. That's what short-time hotels are for, and that's what parks are for, to hang out with. It sucks sometimes, but you know, you got to do it. Now, as far as what I would do, I'd just be honest with her and tell her exactly how you feel. Maybe you've done this already, but you need to stand your ground. Don't accept spoiled behavior, because if you do that, it's just going to keep manifesting itself. And unfortunately, this might mean that you may have to say, bye-bye, honey. You know, you're going to have to stand your ground. And, you know, you got to stand up for what you believe in. But you might want to pacify her a little bit and just tell her that while you want to live a humble and simple life, it doesn't mean you don't want to be happy, and it doesn't mean you don't want to have some of the finer things, and also, most definitely, you want to have everything that you need. So the thing is, there's a big difference between what you need and what you want, and I personally think, in her case, maybe she may have a lot more wants than needs, and this is where you have to draw the line. So hopefully that helps. Anyway, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di la jerken mai.